Hello, I'm Ken Burrell from
The PMO Professionals.
If you're a project manager and you've ever thought to yourself, if I'd known then what I know now, I'd have done things differently, then you'll appreciate that everything seems clearer and easier with hindsight. But generating your own hindsight is hard and painful. George Bernard Shaw said, if history repeats itself and the unexpected always happens, how incapable man must be of learning from experience. I think that project managers can learn a lot from each other's experience, and especially from sharing their scars. Sharing your experience gives you access to someone else's hindsight without the hard work and the pain. So as part of my campaign for Real Project Managers, on your behalf, I'm talking to some real project managers I've had the pleasure of working alongside so that you can benefit from their experience. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Jill Plunger, who's going to share some of her experiences with us. Jill, I'd like you to start, if you can, by introducing yourself and giving us a flavour of your background and how you got into project management.
So I've been in retail ever since I started working. I did deviate from the retail as a sector very briefly, but actually I came back quite quickly because I love it. And I've had, various different roles within retail since I started. Initially I was focused more from a commercial point of view, so doing buying and merch planning. And then there was an opportunity to do something slightly different, of which I thought, let's try something different. Let's kind of broaden my skill set a little bit. And tried that, and it was actually a change management role at the time. Totally brand new into that area of the business, so it was really kind of creating it and setting it up from scratch. And I went into that, and actually I really loved it. It really fit my skill set really well. Lots about kind of talking to people, engaging with people, building relationships, the kind of logical thinking, being really well planned out. And I've kind of never really looked back. I've done various change management programs, each time building on slightly larger scale programs, and then more recently I moved into program management itself.
So what sort of projects or programs do you typically get involved with? What sort of size and shape are they?
They've varied between, it can be focused more on kind of ways of working or technology based programs, or even kind of more physical build programs, operational programs. They have varied in shape and size, so I've done some where they kind of focus on implementing a change initiative where it could focus on, say, from 200 people up to kind of 6,000 people, from budgets ranging from a few 100,000 up to multiple millions. So it has really ranged over the years, but that's what keeps it interesting, right?
Yeah. Okay, so thinking back over your experience, can you tell us about a scar that you've acquired, so where something's gone wrong on a project that you were managing, what you learned from it?
Of course, so one of them would be earlier on in my change management career. I was thrown a bit in the deep end on a change program, and it was all about designing and then embedding a new way of working for one of the FTSE 100 companies I'd worked for. And initially starting it, I was like, yep, change manager, tick, very well versed in change management. Ways of working, not so familiar with that at that particular time. So to start where you get to the point where you need to almost design what is this new way of working that you want to bring into the company, it kind of threw me a little bit, if I'm honest. And actually my mind started going a bit on overdrive, to the point where I would normally be quite pragmatic about how I view things, very logical in my thinking and my approach. A lot of that actually went out the window.
Right.
And I think my mind went on such overdrive, I got quite panicked. So I got sort of the tight knot in my stomach.
Right.
To the point where, I'd be trying to almost work so long and so hard and kind of hours wise to arrive at what's this kind of golden nugget? What is this, new way of working that we need to arrive at? And I really lost sight of the fact that actually I'm not an expert in ways of working. I'm an expert in change management at the time, or now program management. And actually I almost lost sense of my purpose. My purpose wasn't there to be an expert in that. My purpose was there to drive the program forward, to bring all the right stakeholders together to arrive at that answer, to kind of get us from A to B, and manage those relevant risks along the way and then embed it. And I went into such panic and overdrive, I totally lost sight of that, to the point that I was trying to sort of do lots of research and become that expert on employment law and what are the different ways of working that you could have and what felt right for the company. And I got to the point where I just could not see the wood for the trees, to the point where even my specialism and my kind of expertise in change management just went out the window. I found that I'd stopped engaging with people. I guess I kind of went a bit more insular and kind of went into myself, not I was really panicked and really I felt a bit stressed actually with it.
Sounds like it, yeah.
So much so to the point that it then got to probably about 2 weeks later when I sort of checked in with one of my colleagues, and she was saying, "You're right, you don't really seem yourself." And I sort of said, "Well, I feel like I've been thrown in at the deep end on this, if I'm really honest, and I felt I needed someone to talk to at that time. How do I arrive at this new way of working? I'm not an expert here, and I don't know if legally we can do that, etc." And she really helped me, and she sort of just said the one question of, "Do you think you need to be an expert in this?" I was like, "Well, no, of course I don't." Oh, and then it suddenly clicked where I'd been totally spiralling out of control. I'd lost sight of what my purpose actually was and what my role was there. My role was to consult with the experts in the business. There were employment law experts in the business.
Right.
There were specialists in behaviours and kind of the new insights that were coming out and the new innovation in the marketplace. Should have gone and just consulted with those guys to begin with,
yes,
instead of, I guess, fretting and getting myself into such a tiz with it. I probably waited a couple of weeks looking back on that now, where I could have actually been using that time to build the relationships. And I think what I really learned from that was, going forward now, I will always consult with the area experts, because the reality is that even if you focus and you specialise in project management, programme management on one particular kind of area, so whether that be build works or employment law or whatever that is, it will take you so long to become that absolute expert. There's people that have studied it for years and years and years and keep doing all the relevant qualifications. So even if you continue to keep your specialism within that one area, it's going to take you ages to catch up with those people. Those people are there and they're so willing to help you. Go and consult with them, talk to them. You'll learn so much from getting their input, but also let them help you build a better solution that's then more likely to land with the business, with the people when you're trying to embed that relevant change programme. And I've found that I don't actually generally do programs where it's the same thing time after time. Often you'll be doing 1 minute, you'll be doing a ways of working program, the next minute it'll be a technology program, the next it'll be a team rebrand program. And actually, from consulting the experts around you, not only do you learn a lot more, you arrive at the better solutions, and it gives you much more breadth as well. So I think overall my kind of real scar from that came from just totally forgetting what my purpose and what my sense was with being there. But through consulting with the experts, I was able to not only then arrive at a better solution, you build better relationships, you ultimately have more credibility to what it is you're then trying to kind of go along with your end solution. You go to stakeholder forums, go to your steerco, your governance meetings, and you'll pretty much always get the question of, has so-and-so been involved in this, i.e. the area expert? And if you can say, well, yes, actually they helped build this, they helped us arrive at this solution, then immediately that confidence is installed in that stakeholder, and it makes your job of kind of landing that message so much easier as well.
Jill, thanks for your time, your openness and your insights. So today we've heard from Jill about something that went wrong on a project that she was managing and how she recovered from it. Mark Twain said, "History doesn't repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes." To me, that means that although the future may not be exactly like the past, it's often similar enough for the lessons of the past to be useful. So my challenge to you is, what will you learn from this? What will you do differently in your projects as a result of Jill's experience? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a comment or a like, or both, or by sharing it with others on social media. If enough people think these videos are useful and worthwhile, I'll make more of them. If you'd like to share your scars in one, let me know. For other articles on project management and PMO topics, visit my website,
thepmoprofessionals.com.
To connect with me more personally, search LinkedIn for Ken Burrell,
The PMO Professionals.
In the meantime, until the next time, thanks for watching.